Defense is extremely important in chess. You can argue that if you should be able to defend before you can attack in chess. In this video, I'm going to show you how to defend when you have no other choice. And this is a good example because my opponent plays a gambit, the Smith-Morra gambit. And this forces you to play on the defensive. Your opponent, whenever they gambit something, they give you material, but you're forced to be playing on your heels because they get a lead in development. Therefore, you're defending. Also, my opponent throws in a sacrifice here, which is pretty much the same concept of you have to defend after that. You're getting material, but you have to learn how to defend. Anyway, I just want to go over this game. This game is very, very instructive. So please watch the whole thing because each move is very important here. And we can learn a lot from this video. I'm a big believer in you can learn a lot from one video of chess or one game of chess. If you study that video or that game enough and you really listen, because there is a lot to go on, trust me, right here in this video. Okay, so what do I do first? If my opponent gambits something, I want to slow the game down. So I'm in defensive mode. My opponent gave me no other choice to be in defensive mode. So now I have to play defensive. So I have to slow the game down. So now I blunt my opponent's bishop. Okay, so now my opponent develops, and I throw in a check. So again, this is all to slow down the game. My opponent's going to defend. If my opponent defended like this, that would be bad because I would just trade off material. The reason why I'm not trading off material after this is because it wouldn't really slow down my opponent. I would give him the bishop pair. So I really don't want to do that. So therefore, I just develop. And notice how I don't develop out here, because he can leave my knight stranded out in the middle of nowhere or something like this. And I don't want to go right back, obviously, to where I started. So for that reason, I'm going to develop my knight here. I have to play a little bit passively. Again, when you have to defend in chess, it is what it is. You have to ride that wave, as I call it. You ride the wave, you let your opponent attack, and you just wait for your time. And as you're going to see in this game, I'm going to pick my time where I'm able to very patiently, I'm going to wait it out, defend, and when I can attack, I'm going to spring my counterattack. Okay, I defend my other piece. Again, I don't want to give him the bishop pair. That would just actually speed things up. So here I come back, and my opponent starts attacking. Okay, so now my opponent has a lead in development. My opponent's attacking. But what is he attacking, really? He's not attacking this square because I have pressure on it. He's attacking here. He wants to bring his knight in here. If I castle, it's not as bad for me, but he still can sink the knight in there and then, probably put a pawn here, anchor the knight. That could be pretty annoying. So for that reason, I play d5 first. Now, this video is also good for tactics. So if you're studying your tactics, if you want to improve on your tactics, which all of us should be improving our tactics. Again, this video is also good for that. This is a really excellent game, I believe. Very instructive game, I believe. So you have to do your tactics here. You have to. So if you might be thinking, well, this might lose material somehow. Like let's say he takes and I take, and then he takes and then I take, and he has a plan. He can do something like this, and then fork at the end and get the queen back. But no, you have to see that the bishop's covering here. So everything's good. So for that reason, because I've studied my tactics and I've sharpened my tactics, I can play good strategic moves and fact check them pretty much with tactics, if that makes sense. So I can make this move that I want to make, and this is the purpose of this move is so the knight can't just come in here and jam up my whole position. Now I'm free, I'm playing in the center, my bishop's going to become alive, everything's going to work, and now I can castle. My opponent takes, I take, okay, I have central play. I'm attacking the bishop, so I have a tempo, and my bishop can come into the game. This is all extremely important stuff. Still, he's coming in faster than me. Now, again, if he takes here, that would not be good because I would ask him to explain himself. You could say he can take that pawn and attack the rook, but I'm already attacking his bishop. So I would just slide over, attack this bishop, and now he's in a fork. So he can't do that. So again, he is a little bit faster than me because he did gambit that pawn. But again, all I have to do, I'm up material, is just, buy my time, ride that wave, defend, and when I can, turn the tides, counterattack, and then I'll be up material, he'll have no attack, and he's lost. A gambit is just trying to kind of, I don't want to say a cheap way to win the game, but sort of like a cheesy way to win the game. You just have to defend and ride that wave. Okay, my opponent comes back here, avoids that trade, doesn't want to lose his bishop, and I castle. And still, my opponent's slightly ahead. He's got his 2 bishops aiming at my king. You know, I'm winning, but again, it's still a dangerous position. So here my opponent goes for the Greek gift, the classic bishop sacrifice, whatever you want to call it, but it doesn't work here. And I'm going to explain something to you here why this doesn't work and how you can know in the future an easy way of when the Greek gift doesn't work for either offense when you want to deploy it or defense, so you don't have to worry about it and you don't have to spend too much time calculating. An easy way to know that it doesn't work is if you have a bishop that can come to f5. And here is why I wasn't worried about it. So I just took very happily obliged. And after he comes down here, check, here and here, threatening checkmate. The whole point is I have bishop f5 covering h7, and this is just totally foils his whole plan. It simply does not work. So this is it's completely it's a bad sack. It's not a sound sack. Okay, my opponent comes back here, and again, I don't want him to. This is tactics. If I just play a random move, I'm allowing him to take here, and now he's going to checkmate me. So we can't have that. So for that reason, again, what would you do here? You want to defend the bishop, and we want to try to turn the tables on our opponent and step into the driver's seat and start turning defense into offense. So I come back here, I defend and attack the queen. Okay, so I'm trying to get a tempo. And you're going to see that, I'm sorry, I did not do that. I played this first. I took the knight. And the reason why, I did play this move, but the reason why I took the knight is because this knight's not really doing anything, and this knight's attacking the bishop. I said, okay, I'm up material a lot. Might as well trade down and get rid of the knight. After the bishop took, then I came back to bishop g6. Again, just attacking the queen, trying to gain the initiative. My opponent comes down to g4, and now I attack the bishop. I'm trying to trade down material and slow down the game. This is pretty much the only guy that I'm really worried about. I mean, the knight and queen are here, but I pretty much have them in check. If I can get rid of the bishop, that would be really good. But I'm completely winning, and that's why I have the bar here, the eval bar. I wanted to show you guys, how accurate this game was. So I come down here and play bishop c7. And what I'm doing here is my bishop was not doing anything here. So now I'm just kind of pivoting it to c7 towards the king. And my idea is just to come here and start attacking to gain initiative and to take over the game. If I'm up material and I'm in an offensive position, then there's absolutely no compensation for my opponent. Okay, so my opponent is not necessarily anchoring the knight here. He's trying to deflect my bishop. Now, I could overreact, and some players might do something like this, which would be a big mistake because the bishop's defending the knight. So again, he would take, and then there's nothing defending the knight, and now you're pretty much just evened out the game. Some players might like push the pawn or something. Again, then we have knight e6, and now we're in trouble again. We're not doing so hot here. So even though when you're winning in chess, you have to have a sound mind, and you have to play good defensive moves. And that's why I think this game is super important to go over, but super instructive. But how would you defend this position? Now, I was talking through this the whole game. You have to find a spot in the game where you turn your defense into offense. And offense can be defensive in nature. I mean, we mix defense and offense together in chess to accomplish the same goal, right? To gain initiative, to ideally at the end, win the game ultimately. But if I'm concerned about all this stuff and I don't really have any good moves, how do I defend against h5? Now, pause your videos and try to figure out what I played here. There's actually a couple moves here. I played queen d6, and that's just threatening checkmate. So if he comes here, I have checkmate. So it slows him down just for a move. So first he defends, and now since he defends, he's going to play this. And now I just simply develop my rook. Now, again, you'll notice how I defend by playing centralized moves and developing moves. So now you're wondering, well, why can't he just still do this? Well, he can do this, and that's what he played. But now I just come back to knight h6 and attack his queen. His queen is vulnerable. And now when the queen moves, Now I just simply move my bishop. So I successfully defended everything. I'm up material, and now I'm just trying to consolidate and kill any of my opponent's compensation or counterplay. So now my opponent, again, this is a good time to pause your videos because my opponent found what looks like to be a good move here. He's threatening checkmate and my bishop that's undefended. How would you guys resolve all these problems? And this is why it's important to have all your pieces developed, because when they are, you could solve problems. You can use them all in unison together and use your tactical mind, if you're working on your tactics, to solve almost any problem that comes across the chessboard. So here I played queen f6. Queen f6 defends because if he takes now, I could take the knight or the bishop. Actually, I can't take the bishop because he would have checkmate, so I would have to take the knight. But I would even out material there. And of course, if he just takes the queen, then I'm up material. I just take the queen back, attack the knight, and I'm totally fine. So after this, he takes the bishop, I take the knight, and he attacks my queen. I move back to f6. And here I was actually attacking the rook. Notice how I mixed defense with offense. So he was attacking my queen. I move away, attack the rook, and now he defends the rook by developing the bishop back into the game. And now I bring the knight to g4, and he attacks my queen once more. So now I put the pressure back on him. I defend that attack, not just defend it, but attack his bishop. I set up a battery against his bishop. And of course, if he wants to trade, I'm going to welcome that because we're up material. And I'm going to bring a new piece into the game. I'll take back with the rook to bring a new piece into the game. Okay, but he just defends the bishop. I trade, and then I play knight d5, attacking the queen. He takes the pawn. And here I played a very interesting idea. I'm up a whole knight, so I'm up a piece, and I decided to give back a piece here, and I won the game in a few moves later. But the reason why I did this is probably not the reason why you think. I played queen g5. Now queen g5 is not the best move, but it still puts myself in a winning position. And it gives my opponent a lot of problems because I was baiting my opponent to play f4, which is the best move. And that's what he played. He found f4, and it's a fork. And you might be thinking, why would I do that? Some of you might be thinking, oh, I was going to do this. Discovered attack, winning the queen. Check, winning the queen. That actually doesn't work because he could get out of the check and save his queen and get the piece. And we have an even position here. Material's totally even. This game is very drawish. But that's not what I was thinking. I had a very strange idea here. After this, he totally weakens his king side. So I figured I'd just grab this pawn. And he can't take with the queen because I'll take his queen. So he has to take with the pawn. And now he has no king position left, almost pretty much. And now I take back with the rook. So I get 2 pawns for the knight. Totally destroy the king position, and I get a tempo on the queen, which is very important. My opponent plays the best move here, which is queen takes b7, and now I use that tempo to bring my rook to e2, and I'm threatening checkmate. So I gave back material to consolidate a winning position just to make the game easier to win. And my opponent here defended. And then I come here. This is a sneaky move because I'm not threatening the pawn. The pawn's being defended. I'm actually threatening check, winning this loose rook. He defends it, but he defends it the wrong way, and he gets checkmated. Well, he has to move his queen here, and then he gets checkmated. However, what would happen if he played a seemingly decent move? So I was thinking something like rook f3. And this is how dominant this position is. Rook f3, which looks good because it keeps an eye on here. I just play rook d8. Now, he can play this because, again, for this same reason. So what does he do here? He has really no good moves. If he moves the queen, let's say, anywhere, here, let's say, I just have rook d2. I can sack the queen. And if I sack the queen, why? Because I have this assassin's checkmate here. That's really pretty. Now, what else could he do? If he moves the rook, let's say he tries to, defend with this rook. Well, then I have this, check. If he comes back, I have queen d4 check, and if he comes back, the only move to block is this or that. This is checkmate. He can't take back because of the pin. So it actually puts him in a state of like Zhuang when I just come to, after this move, I just come to rook d8. He can't do anything. He can't move his king. The only thing he can really do is move his pawn. And then I just go rook d2. And there's absolutely nothing he can do. Anyway, hopefully you guys found that video instructive. I recommend that you guys watch this video a bunch of times actually and really go over it and dive deep into it, because there's a lot of nuances in this game that's very important. A lot of defensive and offensive ideas. The timing of the attack, the timing of the defense, the timing of the counterattack, being patient, riding that wave, as I said, buying your time, being patient, and then striking and counterattacking at the right moment and slowing down your opponent's attacks. Anyway, if you did like this video, check out this one. I'll catch you guys next time. Go play some chess.